Good evening. This is the Rutland Town Planning Commission. It's December 4th of 2025. Let's begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please. Walking out. Yes. Okay, welcome everyone. Approval of the agenda, and the agenda that you have should, it doesn't just mark in that David Grayck is here with an update on the 250 demolition permit at the mall and the upcoming construction permit application.
To approve the agenda.
Andy, for a second. Just in time. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Do we have some members of the public online this evening? We're at the point in the agenda where we're asking for public comment, if there is any. We're not there, okay. We'll move on to the Diamond Run Mall and David Grayck. David, you wanted to talk about conformity with the town plan.
Yep.
With the construction phase.
Correct.
Super Walmart. And you anticipate your Act 250 filing by the end of the year.
That is what we're striving for.
Construction. And you probably will say a few things about the municipal impact questionnaire.
Correct. Correct. Good evening. So my name is David Grayck, and I'm here on behalf of the property owner, as well as on behalf of what will be the co-applicant, Walmart, for the construction of the Walmart Supercenter at the former Diamond Run Mall. So the last time I was here, some of you were here, some of you might not have been here. I was before you discussing Act 250 approval for the demolition of the existing mall structure that obtained an Act 250 permit. The fencing went up, and we'll be looking at that demolition commencing within the next few months, probably. But in the meantime, we're going to be going through the Act 250 process for a permit to build the Walmart. You're what's called a statutory party in the Act 250 proceeding as the Town of Rutland Planning Commission. So you have the right to participate in that proceeding. We'll also be requesting and filing with the Selectboard the municipal impact questionnaire. And my recollection of how the process worked last time was that the Selectboard, in addition to hearing from the various departments, also wanted to know what the position of the Planning Commission was with respect to the project's compliance with the town plan. So I am asking that the Planning Commission ultimately vote to find that the proposed Walmart conforms with the town plan. In the meantime, before you get there, I thought you might appreciate an overview of what's going on, as well as a brief discussion of the reports, some of the reports that we've produced, which I've provided 3 sets for. I always will email everything to the town office. If someone in particular wants me to email it directly to them, I'm happy to do that. We always do email to your chair, as well as to Bill Sweet in the town office. So if you have anything in particular you're interested in, please let me know. And if you just want to know when things get issued, I can email them to you directly. Once we file the application, there's what's called the Act 250 database, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with what that is, but the Act 250 program has gone completely online. And so the application materials are filed electronically. They're loaded up onto what's called the Act 250 database, and you can access all the filings for the application. And in fact, the Act 250 program has made a strong effort to have every permit ever issued loaded up onto the database. So if you are ever interested in any permit or any project, you can go online, you can search. I should also say up on the screen with Craig J is Craig Jewett. He is with MSK Engineering. Craig, you there?
Here,
There he
David.
is. Craig is professional engineer. He's with MSK Engineering, and when you have engineering questions, he's the one who's going to answer them. So, Craig, why don't you just introduce yourself and then give kind of the basics of the project, and the handouts that I've given you hard copy of, Craig has on his computer, and we'll see if we're able to call them up as they're being discussed. Okay?
Well, thanks. Yes, my name is Craig Jewett with MSK Engineers. I'm the consulting engineer for the owner and the applicant related to the application. So just to give everybody a quick synopsis, hopefully you can see my screen showing what is the existing conditions at the former Diamond Run Mall site.
You're
not sharing your screen yet.
I thought I tried it. Let's see if I can do that again. How about now? Can we see now?
There you go. I think it's coming up. It says, there you go. You're on. You're sharing.
Okay, perfect. So what we have here is the Diamond Run Mall site as it currently exists with the mall. Some of the parking area shown in here. Let me see if I can move this bar here.
And if you're looking up for the hard copy, it's C100.
And so kind of going from there, the southern part of the site is really going to be where Walmart is. It's approximately 20 acres of the site, but it's essentially the southern end of the current mall site.
And Craig, not to interrupt you, now you've switched to C102.
That's correct.
So for those of you who have the site plan,
could you ask him to speak up a little louder?
Craig, if you could speak a little louder, that's been requested.
Sure. Yep. I let me know if this is loud enough or if I need to go louder. But yes, what you're looking at is C102, which is the overall utility plan for the proposed Walmart facility. And just to kind of orientate you, this intersection down here is the Route 4, Route 7 intersection of the site. So the southern end of the site is where, oh, now I just lost my screen. What happened there? Let's see if I can get this back. Sorry about that.
You're recording. You're recording. You're recording again.
So again, we're Craig has C102, and the site plans are at the bottom of the small stack of documents I gave you, and you can find the letter and the number if you look for the MSK. You'll see it right there. Go ahead, Craig.
All right. Can you guys see the screen C102?
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect. So this is the overall utility plan for the proposed Walmart. I can answer any questions about that if there are any, but we kind of just wanted to give you an idea of what was going on at the site. The facility is just over 180,000 square feet. And the parking lot, and I'll switch over to C103. The parking lot has approximately 751 parking spaces. So as you can see, the site has been completely filled with parking and has stayed within the existing footprint of the mall site. In fact, when this is done, we'll have a slight reduction in the amount of impervious surface out there resulting from the project. So we were fairly successful in keeping Walmart within the developed portions of the site and working within the existing extents of the footprint and the mall building footprint. So no expansion beyond what has been previously developed on site as far as the project is concerned, and actually, like I said, a slight reduction in overall impervious surfaces. So
And
yep,
Craig,
go ahead, David.
and just to again orient people. So the way the building is situated, it's at the it would be what, at the south end of the parcel and just to the south of the building, the back of the building would be Windcrest Drive. Okay.
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. Does that help you orient how the project's being laid out? If you
you have a Google Maps, you can kind of like.
I'm confused.
Let me see if I can switch over to this.
There you
so
go.
Can you
Yeah,
see
great.
my cursor?
That's Diamond Run.
that's
Yep.
Diamond Run, and just show them where
That's the
exactly.
driveway coming in.
Walmart,
Right. And so-
Walmart is going to
yep.
be right down here in the southern end of this.
And here's Windcrest Drive right down here. So when we flip to the site plan that shows the Walmart store, Windcrest is roughly right over here.
Yep. On
Okay.
the right hand side. Yep.
That's what Sears used to be. Walmart is kind of like the public church.
And everything that's being done is within the existing ring road. Right, I know that's the phrase that seemed to have taken hold in the original permitting. And, there is the road that goes all the way, well, there's parking, and then kind of in the back of the old mall, there was a road, and they called that the ring road, and it would go up to now where the Spartan is and continue all the ways around. So all the new construction of improvements is within the ring road. There's nothing outside of the ring road that's being added. Okay. Thanks, Craig.
Yep. I'll leave this up here, and if there are any questions, let me know. But I don't want to bore you with the civil aspects of this, and happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Is it only gonna be the Walmart, there's Super Walmart there, or is there gonna be other businesses or?
As
So right
of,
now,
sorry, David, go ahead.
as of now, all there is the Super Walmart. What happens in the future is neither decided, precluded, or being applied for, one step at a time. And each successive step, if there are any, will build upon what's already been there and go through permitting on its own.
A question though, so what you're proposing here, and then compared with the previous slide of the Diamond Run Mall, there's still additional area left, or is this kind of, or is that then just gonna remain outside of the Diamond Run Mall, whatever area is there is gonna be just converted back to grass?
Yes, that's correct. So with the demolition of the mall, part of that permitting required the landowner to take approximately 10 acres and convert it back to a pervious surface. So this green area that you see to the north of the proposed site is after the mall is removed and the area is reestablished as a vegetated surface. So there will be approximately 10 acres of, for lack of a better term, lawn space up at the mall, but that is outside of the quote unquote Walmart project. That's why the demo permit was done separately from the Walmart permit. They needed to demo the mall for a number of different reasons, completely outside and irrelevant from Walmart. It just so happened to be something that was necessary for the Walmart project as well. But this green area that's shown over here to the north of the project area is in fact intended to be green space as part of the project. Or what
The
will be
approximate
there.
boundary of the large areas was at 16.67 acres.
So the area that you see here is kind of a dashed line here.
Is that
That's
Yep.
that's the 16 acres that they're talking about, which is what the Walmart project is. The remaining part of the property will have 10 acres that is grass. So the 17 acres approximately for Walmart is their project. The 10 acres that we're talking about is not included in Walmart's 17 acres worth of project site.
What's the square footage of the Walmart What will it be?
180,000?
I can't read.
Yeah,
It's
it's 180,000.
I mean,
Just over 180,000.
Out of curiosity though, once we have this site developed, do those 10 acres have to remain pervious for runoff and stuff? I see you have some detention basins down below. I'm just curious about that. Is that then going to prevent or hinder further development in that area if it has to be maintained as pervious surface?
So it does as of right now, but it does not preclude the landowner from going back and designing appropriate stormwater treatment to reconvert that area, that 10-acre area into developed area. So the applicant could go back at some point in time and work through permitting treatment that would allow them to reconvert that area at some point in the future, but that is not proposed at this time. The two ponds that you see here are specific and relative to the Walmart project. And so they meet all the stormwater requirements related to the Walmart project itself and are independent of the other areas that we're talking about. So the two ponds you see there are specific to Walmart and meet all of the stormwater permitting requirements related to the Walmart project.
Can you just show with a cursor where those two ponds are? I think I know where they are on the, yep, one, and the other one's over there too.
And the other one's over here. This one's a little bit harder to see. This one obviously is a little bit easier as you come up the road. This one is there, but it's fairly overgrown at this point, and not necessarily as noticeable unless you're way in this corner of the parking lot.
So this is Dana Craig. Can you flip back to map 100, C100?
Yep.
Can you outline with your cursor the area that is going to be occupied? I think I know, by the Walmart project.
Yeah, let me see if I can draw it here and not make too much of a mess. So, including the ponds, we're essentially looking at
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah, that's about the area roughly, and I apologize for the crudeness of this, but that's about
Okay.
the area of the Walmart project
Yeah,
versus the
that's
rest of the site.
the sense that I was getting. If you flip back to the other map, that's C103.
Yep.
To the left of what is the footprint for, I think, the building, is that all parking?
That is all parking lot, and
So-
yep. Sorry, go ahead.
That's going to be parking lot that is currently part of the footprint of the building itself and not what is outlined on C100 as parking.
A little bit. So as you can see here, a portion of the existing mall footprint is within the footprint of the Walmart building and
Yep.
will be converted back to parking lot. So the area that is parking lot for the most part in this area will get reused as parking lot. The portion of the mall itself is going to be converted into both parking lot and part of the Walmart footprint.
Right. And the end of that building on C100 will be extended on the map that is C103. Is that correct? Or will
No.
there still be parking?
There will still, so if we were to overlay this
Yep.
building, essentially
Right.
the Walmart facility, again, let me see if I can, the Walmart facility is essentially something like this.
Yep, that's what I thought. Taking
Yep.
up most of the parking to the south side of that current footprint.
That is correct.
That's what I was trying to do. I was doing this mental picture in my head, and I just wanted to make sure with you that the idea that I had correlated with what the designs were showing. Thank you.
Outside, is there any development like gas pumps or anything like that? Gas station?
Nope.
This is what's proposed now.
Just the store and the
Just
parking
the
lot
store. Yep.
places.
will there also be, following up on Barbara's question, will there be, EV charging stations, or do you know?
Greg?
That is being reviewed right now. I believe Walmart's intent is to provide some charging stations there, but we do not have the specific number yet.
Okay. Thank you.
It just seems like a lot of parking and impervious surface. I don't know if there's any way to kind of collect. I don't know, is there any solar panels gonna go over the parking spots?
Not proposed at this time,
You
no.
know, I was just thinking of a way to collect the rain, so that way, yeah, you have an impervious surface, but at least if you collect the water and you're trapping the runoff, all that stuff too. So I mean, like rain gardens, other things like that, there's green infrastructure that could be implemented.
But there are some rain gardens in the green space, right?
Greg, did you hear all that?
Green space.
Yeah, so there are no rain gardens proposed in the green space because the green space is fairly limited. The parking lot was essentially filled up with as much parking as we could get in that area, and because we had existing stormwater infrastructure ponds on site, we could redevelop those to ensure and actually increase the amount of detention and retention that we get on site. And that we did not need to, and in fact, probably shouldn't have rain gardens because this site is considered not suitable for infiltration purposes. One of the things we had to demonstrate to the state of Vermont was that they would prefer to see rain gardens, but we needed to demonstrate why that was not appropriate for these areas. It has a lot to do with the depth to ledge out there. This original site was mainly a wetland. So the soils are not actually conducive. The underlying soils are not actually conducive for infiltrative practices. So that's with what you see here. The lines in the green are essentially the collection system that we have for this site that collect all the water and bring it to our two stormwater ponds, which are actually being improved as part of this project to improve treatment and increase the amount of detention time on site before it is discharged off site.
Just curious, Craig, how many parking spots are in the design?
We've got it right
251.
here in this little table. Let me just make sure I'm reading the right number. We have 751 total parking spaces on site.
Where's that?
I would,
That's
you know, that impervious surface, it just seems
You
like a
changed the thing.
place to
Yeah, okay.
build out on the land more parking when you can always build parking vertically and reduce your stormwater runoff.
Well,
Especially if the other 20 acres are, you know, wetlands and it's ledge, so it's not conducive to infiltration.
well, I do want to. I do
Basins.
want to make sure that you are, you know, we are in fact reducing the amount of impervious surface that's currently out there by doing this project. So while it seems like a lot, we need to keep in mind that right now this is all impervious surface out there outside of some very small islands that have no stormwater infrastructure with them. So that's what's going on there right now. This project actually slightly reduces. You can kind of see where this green hatch is over on this side. It's not a large reduction in impervious surface, but the project does actually result in an overall reduction of impervious surface related to the Walmart site itself. To your point about building parking vertically, that's certainly an option if needed, but I don't think it was considered as part of this project because they didn't need parking to go vertical. They had enough space to work within and were told by their consultants that we were redeveloping existing impervious. So we weren't making a situation or creating a new situation. We were dealing within the current constraints of the site and in fact end up with a net reduction. So the runoff is actually less after this project than it would be currently under its current situation.
Who maintains the retention ponds?
That would be the landowner. The landowner is responsible for all related infrastructure maintenance and improvements.
And that would be under the DEC permits. Am I right about that, Craig?
Correct. The DEC permits run with the land and the landowner. And then there will likely be a landowner and Walmart agreement about who maintains what related to the shared infrastructure on site. But it is solely the responsibility of the landowner and or the applicant related to the permit application.
And so those DEC permits are going to be what are called rebuttable presumptions. I don't know if you're familiar with that in Act 250, where there are criteria, for example, compliance with no undue water pollution, including stormwater discharge. So the Department of Environmental Conservation's stormwater permits, which we will have, which authorize the stormwater infrastructure, are independently enforceable by the Agency of Natural Resources. Then they establish rebuttable presumptions of compliance under the Act 250 criteria so that they then get incorporated into the Act 250 permit. So that's how Vermont has regulated both stormwater and the use of those stormwater permits in the Act 250 process.
And just to add to that too, our stormwater discharge permit for this project is actually on draft notice at the moment, which means that DC has issued a draft permit that is on public comment until the 15th, where at such time they'll determine whether to finalize that permit.
So you've completed a couple of studies as well.
Yes, you have them there. Would you like to go to that?
Any other questions about the design?
What's the depth of that, I guess, drainage basin? Is it like 10 feet deep?
I can take a look
Like
at it.
600 for the bottom grading. Yeah, I'm just trying to see what the height of the, and again, I don't think it's ever supposed to fill up.
So yes, the intent is not to have 10 feet of water in there, but you are correct that it's 10 feet worth of depth from the essentially the top of the bank of that to the bottom of the basin. But yes, there won't be 10 feet of water sitting in there. That water will be released.
Until it gets over like 612 or whatever, then you have your emergency spillway.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to the studies.
Okay. So There's Craig, big are wetlands. you able Might be a to lot of put up the, let's start with Mike Lawrence with the landscape architecture board. So one of the Act 250 criteria is whether the project will have an undue adverse effect on aesthetics. And to analyze this issue, Mike Lawrence, a landscape architect, performed an analysis under what's called the Queechy test. I don't know if you've heard of that. If you've heard of anything in Act 250, you've probably heard of that test.
Yep.
We've been confronted with it previously.
I'm sorry?
We've seen it previously.
You've seen it previously. So the basic question is whether or not the project will have an undue adverse effect on aesthetics. First, the consideration is whether it will be adverse. And in that respect, essentially, you're asking whether or not the project fits the character of the area. If you say, well, it doesn't really fit, then you've concluded it's adverse. And then to decide whether it's undue, you ask three questions. One, does it violate a clear written community standard? Two, is it shocking or offensive? And three, have all reasonable mitigating measures been taken? So if you wanted to just flip through, if you just start flipping, Greg, so Mike does the executive summary right there, and his conclusion was that the Walmart project has no adverse impact on the scenic or natural beauty of the area. And the conclusion that Mr. Lawrence made was that it's the perfect site for a new store. Essentially, the project is taking place at what has been developed for retail purposes since 1993. Mike's analysis starts by taking into account the character of the area. So, of course, you can see that first he looked at the approaches of Route 4 West. Go to the next page, Craig. looked at the overall perspective of scenic view sheds, general location of the existing mall, the various viewpoints on the roads. He went kind of like quadrant by quadrant. So if you look at the report, you can see that he did a very in-depth study. This also helps give you kind of perspective of the south end where the GE Aerospace plant is, Windcrest Drive, and you'll see that one of the reports we're going to go through is a sound study that was particularly focused on that area. And of course, the Route 7 and the various viewpoints and existing conditions, looking to the north, other commercial buildings, other uses, looking at US Route 7 south, I believe. And to the right. And so essentially the conclusion was that this project fits. This is a rendering of kind of the building. Craig, can you just help orient, like, what are we looking at on this page with respect to the store?
So what you're looking at is what I would call the front elevation or the front facade of the Walmart. So when you pull up to Walmart and the public is looking to go into the front of the building, this is essentially the front of the building. So you have your home and fashion side on one side, your grocery store entrance on the left-hand side, and then on the far left side, you have the pharmacy pickup. But this is essentially giving you an indication of what the building will look like when you pull into the parking lot.
And that facade faces west, right?
That facade faces north.
Yeah. It's the parking lot. I mean, it's facade is right here. So
Got
if
it.
you were standing at the parking lot, you'd be looking that way.
Yep, I see it.
So it's, I guess, more northwest. Yeah.
And there's some
Or has-
other side
yeah.
elevations of the various different sides of the building, and then a wonderful picture of what the mall currently looks like in some of those locations. David, do we want to stay with this one, or are there questions?
Just this one
about-
briefly. This was kind of it shows the elevations and existing vegetation. We can keep going unless anyone. We'll keep going unless the audience, the members of the commission call out. So again, this is the study. First we kind of did character the area, then we're doing existing vegetation on the various locations. And then these are the Windcrest Road residences. One of the four actually is owned by Alderman Chevrolet, but it's still kind of identified as a residence. So we just treated it as a residence.
And this photo is looking at the southern end of the mall site towards Windcrest. So basically demonstrating that if you're on the site, you actually can't see any of the homes on Windcrest Drive or Windcrest Road.
And you can't, and there's no access from Windcrest to the mall. Is that correct? And there
So
won't be.
there is an existing curb cut off of Windcrest Road into the mall site that's used by Green Mountain Power, because this is where one of these parts of the site where Green Mountain Power's power comes into the site. There's a transformer over in this location. It is only used by Green Mountain Power and people who trespass onto the site. part of this project will make that inaccessible to others outside of obviously Green Mountain Power because they'll need to be able to maintain their ability to get into this portion of the site.
So it's not currently open to vehicular traffic, public vehicular traffic.
No,
It won't be
it's only
after.
for Green Mountain Power. That's all it is.
Don't try to use it.
Just confirming what I thought I already knew.
Mhm. So yep, this talks about basically continuing to show how the existing vegetation acts as a screening to all of these residences and that you really can't see from one end looking to the other or vice versa without trying to very hard to see into the site whatsoever.
Visually, can't wait to hear about the noise impact.
Well, we can jump to the noise study if you would like.
Yeah, in fact, go back one just because I think the berm is shown right there. And I think we're going to be talking about the berm and the noise study. If you go one forward or right. Yeah.
Yep. So one existing feature that's out there, and it's a little hard to see on this one, and I can jump over to the site plan, but there's an existing earth berm on the southern end of the site that was developed to help mitigate sound from, my understanding was the plow trucks when they had to plow this site in the winter and trying to mitigate sound from these neighbors here. So there's an existing earth berm that has a vegetated screen on top of it as well. It's in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 feet tall. That's actually where the sound barrier that we'll talk about in a minute is going to go. So there'll be additional sound mitigation on top of the existing earth berm that currently exists out there. And just to orientate everybody, that berm essentially is right here. And you see on this, we show a 15-foot high noise barrier, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. David, do you want to skip over Fitzgerald and go to
Just briefly, we'll just mention that in your packet. So in the original permitting of the mall, there was identification of ultimately just one plant species of concern. So we had Fitzgerald Environmental come out and do an assessment of what's there. And basically there continues to be some limited amount of plant species, which I think that they're not threatened. I forget whether they're even rare, but they were originally noted in the 1993 decision by the Act 250 program. So we went out and were able to identify what's out there today.
And all of the plants that were identified are outside the developed portions of the site and won't be impacted by what's being proposed because we're not proposing any development beyond the existing developed portions of the site. So they will be protected. I think we have one area right here with some mountain mint that will need to be flagged and protected during construction just to make sure nobody ventures out over there, but it is way off. It is off the pavement, so there is no reason for anybody to be over in that area, but it will be protected as part of the project to ensure that we don't have any impact to the identified plants.
Great.
I think the
Let's
next
go to
one is the noise study. Yep.
So I'll give you a brief introduction. So I don't know how familiar you are with how your ear functions, but essentially you are grabbing sound waves in 1/8 second intervals, and those sound waves are then transmitted to your brain and you engage in cognition. So when you go to do a sound study, you're taking measurements and you're doing modeling, which is premised under the Act 250 standard of how will the sounds that emanate from your project affect humans as humans actually experience sound? And so you'll see in the report, there's the nomenclature of an LEQ. Essentially, there's the LEQ fast response, which is 1/8 second. And then there's the LEQ slow response, which is considered to be 1 second. And through Act 250 decision making and court precedent, unless you can prove otherwise, the court essentially says that, you know, the difference between the 1/8 second and the 1 second is so minute that for purposes of analysis, compliance with Act 250 standards, we rely upon the LEQ slow response, the 1 second LEQ. So that's essentially what is the sound level measured in decibels over a time interval of 1 second. And what we do is we analyze for peak daytime sound levels. And then on this page, figure 3, you'll see that the modeling program, it's called CADNA. It models how the sound waves propagate and then is able to predict what the levels will be. And you'll see that we're, with respect to the receivers at 231, 217, 201, and 179, we specifically put the barrier, the noise barrier, so that those areas are within the green. And you can see that the daytime is 45 dBA. So the standards for Act 250 are 70 dBA at the property line and 55 dBA at areas of frequent human use. So Act 250 uses both of those standards, and we wanted to make sure that the operation of the store would be within those guidelines with respect to the 4 residences, 179 being the one owned by Alderman Chevrolet. And with the barrier, which is proposed to be part of the project, we're easily in compliance.
What's the length and height of that noise wall?
Greg?
That wall is approximately 200 feet in length and is 15 feet tall. So that's 15 feet on top of the existing berm that is already 8 to 10 feet high.
What's it made out of?
It should end up being out of wood. It could be made out of other products. There are PVC noise barriers that are made now. It will be made similar to the noise barriers you see on highways in larger urban areas where they're trying to mitigate the sound from the highways from nearby residential areas. More than likely, this will be made out of wood. And to put it in context, it's not just a fence. It's to meet the standard that the acoustical engineers have developed. It's 2 pieces of plywood together. That's about the thickness that's necessary to qualify as a sound barrier.
Interesting.
What's the expected replacement life of that if it's made out of wood? It'll last like 15, 20 years at best.
That would be fine.
It really depends. I'm not an expert.
I mean, at best.
I'm not an expert on what the materials are. I think that is some of why you may be seeing more PVC stuff so that it has a longer lifespan. Regardless of what the lifespan is, the Act 250 condition will require that be in use in perpetuity, whether it needs to be replaced one time, it lasts forever, or it needs to be replaced 100 times. It will be integral to our approval, so it is not something that will go away because it's too expensive to replace.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
Um,
Any other studies, upcoming studies that need to be done?
no,
No bat studies, right?
no bad studies.
I guess there wouldn't be much tree for them there anyways.
Well, Chair Ashcroft, the select board chair, said that they were more than welcome to come down to her place. So, you know, if we find any, we'll send them down to her barn. She offered her barn quite graciously.
Okay, anything else involved with the application?
I think it easily complies with the town plan. It is within the appropriate land use district. Since 1993, there's been use of this parcel for, as you all know, what it's been used for. So, you know, I think it's not hard to conclude, and it's being designed properly to fit within the character of the area and readily comply with the town plan.
Yeah, and the assessment we do, what do you think would be the pertinent questions that we would be answering for that?
I think it's identical to what you did with the demolition application, and it's simply whether or not you believe the project complies with your town plan.
Yeah, it was one question.
And that's something that we would like you to do formally in form of a motion, and then report it in writing to the select board. And then what you report in writing to the select board, we make sure goes to the Act 50 District Commission.
What do you think the timing of that would be, of us doing that consideration?
Well, we would appreciate it soon. If not tonight, then certainly, I don't know when your next meeting is.
It would be the first of the second week of January.
That's what I thought. You know, realistically, what's going to happen is that the application is going to be filed, we hope, before the end of the year. And then the state Act 50 coordinator, Aaron Brondbeck, will review it for completeness. So if you take the matter up for a vote in your January meeting, I think that will fit nicely within the schedule that we anticipate.
Yeah, we usually don't do it before an application's been
That's what I
submitted.
thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
So
But we-
if you don't submit the application by the end of the year, then I assume you do not want us to act on anything in our next meeting.
Well, I do, but I think the real question is, will you? And your chair indicated that you probably won't. But we would like the commission to act when it can, and we'd like to have the matter on for your agenda in January. If you generally meet how often? Just once a month?
Every 3 weeks.
Every 3 weeks. So, you know, if we're not, I believe we will be filed by the time of your January meeting, because it sounds like it would be at least after the first week of January when you meet next.
It's like the 8th.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that we will be filed.
I don't think we're meeting 3 Thursdays from now. Or if
What's it 3 Thursdays from now be? I just don't know.
work somewhere.
Any questions, follow-up questions for either David or Greg?
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you. That's it. So there's 3 sets of what we discussed with you. And Barbara, you have everything via email attachment and with the town as well. It is. Okay. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And I'll probably be back in person in January.
Okay.
Unless the weather's real bad, in which case I will take advantage of the computer, but
Worse than tonight, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
January 8th is our next.
Thank you.
Or projected. We have to take action on that tonight. That's all.
Great.
That's likely to be the next.
Terrific. Excellent.
And unless people want to take any of this, I think Bill might as well keep the first step here.
That'd be awful.
Okay. Safe driving.
Thank you. Have a good evening. We appreciate it. Bill?
Thank you, David.
The next item is the 2026 schedule. We talked about skipping, meetings during the holiday period. And so the first Thursday of 2026 is January 1st. So it looks like it pushes our next meeting to the 8th, January 8th. Unless there's some pressing concerns that you want to make during the holiday period. Get the questionnaire done or. Okay,
We, I don't think, this is complicated. From my perspective. And I would think everybody should have the documentation that he only presented 3 copies of.
well, it would be here whenever you want to come and, take a closer
So we should
look at
leave
it.
all 3 copies here,
Yeah.
not take them. And then if we want to review, come here.
Right, and if you want me to email you them, I can. Would you like that?
Well, they're much better in color. And,
Okay.
Question, the only concerns I have is, I'm not sure you could not. So if we're taking all this land and then putting half it towards parking. Like,
There'll be less parking after.
I know there will be after, but right now there's nobody going there anyway, so we're not making any money off of that. The
Right.
point being though, is if Walmart goes in there, are they gonna be the only business that therefore in there? Are they gonna monopolize that area solely for themselves by doing it this way?
So they don't own the property.
Okay,
It's owned by another party. They are taking that spot.
From New Jersey, right?
Yeah, the guys from New Jersey. But the owner of the whole area up there is not transferring ownership of the entire facility, just the section that Walmart is occupying. He still owns the rest of it, but they're taking out the parking lot to conform with the 3-acre stormwater rule to get as much impervious surface gone as they can. But there was discussions about what other development is going to go up there, but it took a long time to get the name of Walmart on the table for what's going there. And when he talked to the select board, he said he couldn't discuss it because he had non-disclosure agreements that apparently Walmart had him sign. So I would assume if he was trying to convince a hotel or whatever to go on that property, he also couldn't tell them who it was going there.
yeah.
But now it sounds that he can talk about development of that, but there is absolutely no other development being discussed while this project's going on. Like they're focused on this right now. So they're not obligated to tell us if they're gonna do anything else either.
I don't know, we gotta kind of plan ahead as to what could they be doing. So I mean,
Right.
does it just prevent that
We don't-
area from being, because again, drainage
Right.
is not good there. It's on ledge, it's in a wetland. So he's telling me drainage is not good, yet we're putting in detention ponds and somehow it's gonna
But
drain.
that's why there are several retention ponds that are already up there. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
So we also don't really have anything that can say, other than the town plan, that says what they can or can't do up there. We have the Act 250 process, but that's what's going to rule this. We don't have, because we don't have zoning or anything like that. There's nothing we have that says what they can or can't do. So he's coming to here because you have all to decide, does their project conform with the town plan? And that's it. That's all we get to say.
that's all we're saying is whether it conforms to this.
Correct.
Seeing as we don't really have much of a plan. Well, no, we do,
That's
but-
all this group says.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
They'll give
All of
you
the
the old,
departments in the
Yeah.
town will have, whether it's the roads or the stormwater,
are they gonna redo,
effects on school, which wouldn't apply in this, but
are they redoing any of the access roads?
it didn't sound like
The
it.
access roads are not changing.
I mean, they'll probably have to repave it at some point. Yeah, yeah, I mean,
That's,
but as far as
that's
reconstructing
a
it,
maintenance task though. Like, there's
Yeah.
no permitting for that. So
So basically, we're just faced with the footprint of the new building and
does the project conform to the town? Does the project violate anything in the town plan? It's a yes or no question. That's
Quite honestly, it seems like they've done their homework pretty well. And everything that they're proposing to us fits within the current footprint. But minor changes, and any of those changes result in a reduction of the impact on the current footprint. So in my mind, as far as things go, I'm usually a stickler for details. If I have this to compare with our other historical thing,
Yeah.
I'm ready to put a rubber stamp on this and say, let's go, because.
And I agree, and this isn't a new, it's not really even a new project, it's
Right.
it's a change of,
Yeah.
It's an existing project
it's a
Almost a
renovation.
retrofit.
Yeah, it's like a renovation project, really, so,
that will actually improve what was,
yes.
it will improve on the previous
Yes.
footprint. So, I mean, I'm not, my perspective, it's a no-brainer, but that's just,
Well, given what they've torn down, it is,
will be tearing down.
Will be.
I'm sorry,
Will be tearing down.
yeah, we'll be tearing down. It's a reduction in the footprint.
That's what I've been saying.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
For now.
For now,
Well,
until the rest of the.
that's all we have. We can't go beyond. That's all we have to work with is what they've told us. And it'll be it. I guess the hockey rink is gonna stay up and be a separart building. now.
Yeah, and the Kmart building is still there. And will still be there.
Still be there, yeah. That's not being torn down. Kmart,
That is
For
not
whatever
part of this
reason, yeah.
project.
there's no current plan on the table to tear down the roof.
Correct.
It's just the rest of it. Howard, do you have any thoughts? Howard, can you hear me? I think you're muted.
Can't hear you.
What happened there?
Here we go.
This is the first time we've had the 1 cent local option tax. That area being used.
Really, I mean,
Can be, considerable.
well, they're about a third of the store is gonna be grocery. And, which won't be taxed, and then a fair amount's gonna be clothing, so, but there is going to be no matter what it is, it's gonna be more, it's gonna be good, yeah, we're not,
More revenue?
oh, yeah.
Howard, any comments or any thoughts?
No, it's very, it's very interesting. It was good to hear and see what's going on. That's very good.
Yeah, he's made a point of coming in person to both our meetings and the select.
Oh, he's
board.
been
Several.
they've talked to the fire department and the police department too, so.
Wow.
What would you say?
They've also talked with the fire department and the police department.
So they're touching all the bases.
Yep.
Okay, let's move down to old business. We're gonna be visiting this on the 8th anyway.
So we have decided that, January 8th is our next start.
I think we can do that by consensus.
I hope so, because I already made all the calendars for
Yeah, I
next
already put it in
year.
my calendar.
That's what I started with, so,
It's in my calendar.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
I'm just confirming that. I've got it on my calendar. That was a no-brainer.
So Bill is making his way through that T-Mobile grant application for the pocket park. The high limit for that grant is 50,000. The deadline for getting it in is December 31st.
Yep.
He would like some help
yes.
with it. So we're looking for volunteers for several parts of that application. One is the detailed project proposal. Maybe I should do that one.
Out of curiosity, that 50,000, is that, are we maxing that out for this pocket park, or is there?
Well, the budget hasn't been done because we
Okay.
haven't figured out what we're asking for yet.
All right.
But usually you try to come pretty close.
Well, I was gonna say, I've been at Northwood, and I've spoken to Mike Rowe about it a few times too, and Brandon, Westberg and Josh, Stugard, guys that have maintained the disc golf course there. And this past year, I was trying to get Hop and Moose and some other local businesses to help out and donate for some new tee pads and maybe actually expanding the course a little bit. I think if there was additional funding, that might be something else that we could do. Because I think one of the things in here, as far as like inclusivity and things like that, I think that would be a good opportunity because it does bring people to, Northwood.
Mhm. Yeah,
it's
yeah. This will be a little bit different, much smaller and maybe a different audience. there'd be the watercraft people and people interested in history, but yes, what you're saying is true. That we could possibly look for, maybe not in time for this,
Okay.
certainly in the future. So we've got the detailed project proposal. We've got, three sections worth thinking about 200, 300 words each. Please briefly describe the community in which your project will be implemented, including community demographics, any primary industries, and any particular challenge that the community is facing. And how will this grant help your community address that challenge? So that's one of those. Then please describe how your project design, including community engagement and project execution plan, actively fosters inclusion, taking into consideration the lived experiences, abilities, and needs of all community members. Then a third little text that's needed is, please provide 3 specific ways in which you intend for this project to benefit your community. Additionally, how could this project be modeled and or scaled for other nonprofits or local municipal governments to adopt and implement? It's an interesting one. And you need help with the timeline, Bill?
Well, I think we kind of talked about a timeline a little bit. So they just want to make sure it doesn't need to go into great detail, but we have a year from award to, so like it says here, if awarded, we will get the funds by approximately March 1st, 26. We have to have it done with the funds used by February of 27.
Less than a year.
All they really want to know is that our timeline is going to meet those requirements. And I think we can almost safely say we can spend the money.
Yeah, it's essentially a year.
Yes.
But we would expect to have it done by the end of summer, if not sooner.
Well, the select board was
I know. Said,
hoping for Memorial Day, but that we would just
Depends
have
on
gotten
winter.
this funding, so it wouldn't have
it's gonna be
applied to
the end of
this.
summer. As I said at a previous meeting, that would be a great thing to reveal at the townwide celebration in Vegas, or at least announce that would be happening, that some type of dedication would be happening within a short time of the townwide celebration. I think that gives you 6 months, and I think it's almost 6 months.
This
Oh, we don't know
doesn't
till
require us
March.
to finish the project.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't require us to be like, the way I read it is it doesn't require us to check every box of completion. It requires us to spend their money.
Right,
In a year.
right.
So there could be things that actually happen after a dedication.
Yes,
think there's
I read that too.
Yeah.
I read
Well, it says
that.
usable. It doesn't mean every single element
Right.
needs to be
Right.
there. Yeah.
Right.
Just the public can go there.
I mean, we get a lot of the basics cleared out, the trails established, railings up. That, if we can get that done, I think that's a huge,
Right,
And that would be a substantive portion of the.
yes.
but that's gonna be mostly in-house, right?
The materials are not.
Okay,
So yes, the personnel expense, but materials are gonna be where this is gonna go to.
okay. So does the select board have any preconceived notions of what should be in this application? Have they mentioned? I don't remember them saying anything.
So whatever we put in it is acceptable to them.
Yes.
Well, that may have been a leap, but
I'm looking for autonomy. I'm always looking for autonomy. That's more autonomy we have.
That side of what's going on right now is we're in budget. We're doing budget stuff. Like there's really not much else that's going on. We have 45-minute board meeting today.
Whoa. We've
Sorry.
blown past that.
I'm sorry.
We're at 70, going on 75.
So no, there's not much else going on other than budget right now. So that's
pretty good. 45 minutes? Is that a record?
pretty close.
Okay, so does anyone want to take the briefly describing the community?
So here's my offer to Bill or anybody else. I will work on any or all of the ones below the first section. So anything from, describe the community down to timeline as part of a small group. I will not take on anything by myself. If that will be helpful, then let me know.
I
Well,
know we worked awfully well together. Why don't we do that again? Previously.
I mean, what are we looking for each one? Like a couple hundred? I mean, we're not trying to put
You're
together
looking
a
at
whole
one
page.
one to 1.5 pages. That's all.
In total.
For each, I think for each question.
200 words.
Yeah, 200 words is a page. Like a page,
yeah.
actually technically.
Well, double space, I think is 250.
250, it is. So that's what I'm saying, a page, even if you had large font. So 300 would put you into the
Yeah.
quarter of a page on the next side.
But it's up to, I mean, you don't have to
Right.
Yeah.
make it that long.
Right.
So did I hear that there's a mini group that has potentially formed here?
Well, I was gonna say, I don't think that we need to have it be written necessarily. I mean, there could be alternatives that we can utilize to get the message across.
I just submit a, I submit.
There has to be a submit an application.
It
Has to be a-
has to be submitted as an application.
Well, no, as an application, but you're also encouraged to include visual renderings, maps, images, things like
We have
that to
those.
help. So we'll include those with the, all right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we have to worry too much about that type of thing
Alright.
as opposed to.
I say, like, describing the project design, like, we kind of have pictures to describe, you know, kind
We
of show
have-
that.
We have that
Yeah,
somewhat on the,
Right.
GMP, maps that have been, or that you put together for us, or somebody did.
Well, Otter Creek originally, yeah. That was the way back
And
beginning
I know, but
plan
they
with
just-
Otter, yeah.
Oh, way back.
Yeah, 5 years ago or something.
But that's the plan. I don't know that we have to do much more than that, except to describe what that would be.
what's the purpose of this pocket park, right? I mean, we're gonna have a boat launch there. Is that, I was under the impression we were having a boat launch there, so that's the only place you probably access the water. Safely with this?
Yes, but we're not pushing it. Yeah, that's not,
my opinion, that's for sure.
yeah, it's not the key.
It is in certain times of the year, but other times of the year would be suicide.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just see the sentence, any particular challenges that the community is facing, how will this grant help the community address this challenge? So what's the challenge with the pocket park or?
It is, it's an underdeveloped area. You've got Business Route 4, which is incredibly
Ugly.
ugly and falls in that
Right.
category.
Related.
So this could be a catalyst for,
Redevelopment.
Mhm.
Redevelopment, revitalization, beautification, you name it.
the other whole,
Beautification, yes.
Certainly beautification.
yes. And then there's a whole historical and whatever cultural
Right.
Yep.
connections we can make.
Well, when it says, the second one talks about inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, weren't there Native
So,
American
so,
history in there? Or-
so what we could do there, I mean, part of this application could be, ADA compliant
Mm.
trails.
I'm sorry.
ADA compliant trails would certainly check the inclusion box there. The trails could go to the picnic area and to the overlook.
That would be number 3, right?
Number 3.
Which one was it?
2 or 3 for inclusion and also specific ways that benefit your community.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah, needs of all community members. Yeah, that would do. Yep.
So, so that we, can get to the bylaw here this evening, I think we can fill in these pretty easily, with all of the work that we've done. So we have an offer for a subgroup to work on the 3 and the budget.
In the budget.
No,
Did you mention the budget?
That's a timeline.
The budget, I think we're gonna ask for the 50,000 and it's gonna go to all to support materials. Like, I don't think, it didn't really, I didn't see that asking for a specific breakdown of.
You'll probably should count on that.
we have it, we did the grant before.
There's
Right,
line items, like the
Yeah.
recreational trail, yeah.
yeah, so I think we can take a lot of that stuff and
Oh, okay,
use that, you just copy
Yep.
paste, move that over and we'll
Okay.
use that.
Previous grant, right.
yep, and that shows the in-kind from the town too,
Sure.
as well.
What do they mean by community demographics?
Who makes up a community? What's the age of the population? How many youth are here? How many,
Okay,
children?
I read
are
it
in
more
school?
narrowly than that. But maybe I'm wrong.
What's more narrow than that?
Well,
I mean, race, gender, all that stuff falls under.
yeah, genders, minorities.
Yeah, and this would appeal, I mean, if it was ADA compliant and all that, it would appeal to all ages, all groups of people.
Native Americans.
So the demographics would be wide. They wouldn't be like really narrowly focused.
I was just wondering if they were looking for us to identify demographics, including minority people.
You mean like census data?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I mean, we're gonna have to identify,
I mean, you might want to do something with
Whoa, 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 whoa,
socioeconomic
whoa.
data or
Maybe.
something.
Dana, can I finish?
Sure.
Are we gonna have to, identify, indigenous people?
Not for the
immigrants?
grant, not for the grant. No, it's more like a blueprint for how how you, what you want in the park, construction wise, and how you're going to get the input to do the things you're talking about, whether it's like, you know, historical signs or really thorough kiosk or things like that. It's more how you're going to do it and what your goals are.
Well, it's how you're gonna serve the population of the town. And the demographics of the population of the town tie into your design for the.
Well, we have to show you have an ADA population, probably utilize, no?
No, you don't.
The only thing with the ADA stuff is being compliant is great. It's when you're out of compliance, and that's not very hard to do sometimes. So how are you doing that with the, like the trails? Are those gonna be like wood chip? I'm just curious, like, how do you make ADA viable trails? Are they gonna be concrete? Like,
Right. That is, we have some information in the earlier grant about how much that costs. And we have a consultant or two that had input in that. So that's how it usually works. But you do need to go outside to get a professional to help you do that, to help you tell you what materials you need and
I know, I'm remembering back to 2012 or so, I don't know, 14, ADA became a huge issue and Illinois got sued because all their sidewalks were no longer ADA compliant from the trees and the freeze and all the heave and stuff, so don't want to, you know, it does, I mean, the ADA stuff's nice and it does get people out there. I'm just seeing like, how do you have an ADA compliance on a trail and then it still have it be in compliance and not get a lawsuit? By putting that in there, are we inviting a lawsuit is what I'm curious,
well, that's it.
right?
That's a different.
With the ADA compliance stuff. So that's where I can see that
A
potentially.
lawsuit against what?
For not being ADA.
For putting in something that's ADA compliant and now it's no longer. I mean, we'd have to put in some sort of, yeah.
So in other words, by saying that it's ADA compliant, somebody could say, well, I can't access this. And I'm a person with disability, so therefore you're in violation of your own.
Yeah, if you say it's ADA compliant, I mean,
There's
people can-
standards to meet that compliant.
I don't know of any standards though for a trail.
Yes, there are. There are. They're all.
I know the standards for crossing a roadway and having to
Yeah,
have a 1-on-12 slope or whatever, like, you know.
right. So like at Northwood Park, it's not constructed yet, but there's a ADA compliant trail that was designed and it has to do with, like you're saying, the slope. I think it's like 8% slope or less.
It's 1-on-12.
And it's like the width and the material, so it'd be like gravel.
Cross slope's
and-
got to be a maximum of 2%. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of things, and then how do you maintain that? Because you still have to sweep your plow your sidewalks in the winter. So if somebody did want to go out there, how are you going to maintain that so it's ADA compliant?
This isn't gonna be a sidewalk, so this is not designed to be a four-season.
And,
Facility.
right,
like
most
Rutland
people are
Park
not
is-
gonna go there when
Right.
it's snowy go to the picnic tables or to stand over the overlook. It's gonna be freezing.
You know,
Yeah.
I just have a suggestion. I would think it might make some sense if Dana and I didn't do all three. That other members of the commission drafted and had front end input. I think it would really be helpful. We get more points of view and opinion in. So, you know,
Too late. You guys already signed up. This is your.
well, I'm asking to
No, I'll help out.
reconsider because you have a lot to offer. Mary
Yeah.
Beth has experience. that can
My
help
only-
us.
Reservation is that I'm working at the mountain. I've got two jobs. So I work a full-time job with the state and I work part-time at the mountain. So just depending on when we decide to get together to do it, that's the only issue I have is I'm working 7 days a week.
My
I was-
question, what's the
okay,
timeline?
What I was thinking is that
December 31st at midnight.
31st
At
of
midnight.
this month?
Yeah.
Okay.
when's it gonna be in?
59.
Oh, okay.
When
I'm
we
gonna be
close-
gone in January.
Sometime before we close the office on December 31st.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
most likely in the morning, right?
Well, yeah.
I don't,
I'd like to point out too that we're talking a half acre site here.
Yes.
Kind of boggles my mind that we're even going for $50,000, but
You gotta go
the
for
group
all.
feels that's the way we should go. That's the way we should go. I mean, I personally see a picnic area there, a walking trail, and cleaning up the brush. And then letting the public come in there and eat lunch essentially, because I think that's what that park is gonna turn into.
Mhm.
I don't see how you make a loop walking trail in a half an acre.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and Bill has some ideas of maybe using, with the signage, doing some QR codes and linking to additional information.
Mhm. Yep.
So not everything has to be on a sign. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated.
I'd like
We
to,
we ran the price up on the other one with, a lot of expenses for the security fencing around the overlook.
Yeah, I could see how that would
30,000.
be,
Yeah.
because you need something like concrete or something to have it. Yeah.
So without that, yes, it wouldn't be anywhere probably close to $50,000, but
gonna
with
say, why
it,
we
it
need
could be.
any fencing going?
I
It's a
would,
pretty steep drop.
Yeah.
I have a problem. If this has to be in by the 31st and we don't meet before then, you know,
You
there's
gotta
no-
meet twice in the next 3 weeks.
This is homework. This is definitely homework.
This is a side group.
but no, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that the whole
Doesn't
commission
matter.
No, it'll go through Bill.
will go through Bill.
Bill's been deputized to submit this grant. So all we need is Bill's okay.
Oh, all right. I wasn't aware of that. Okay. Damien, Dimitri, you can just write, if you took, for instance, number one, just, we don't have to meet to get together. Dana and I do
Yeah.
that. Maybe we'll be able to this time, but
I could, yeah, since Dimitrios, he's relatively.
I'd like to have a little bit better understanding of the pocket park
Yeah, I
itself
Mhm.
before I'm writing
Send you
about
some of the
literature.
the
Yeah.
other grant, and then we had another grant 3 years ago that we used.
And- Mary Beth, could you take one on too? I just think. we
Yeah,
need a
or
broader-
if you want, because I'm familiar with the plans, we could work
Yeah.
together over email. Don't actually have to get together or anything, but yeah, I could.
So I mean, I'm just thinking of number
Came
one
up.
right there. Like, if we're gonna go with the ADA stuff, that's great. That's how we're gonna include people into it, and we already have adaptive stuff here in Vermont for skiing and other things. So again, we're bringing others that may not be up for skiing adaptively into ADA and still the outdoors and stuff like that. So I mean, I was already looking up how you do make trails, and they have different types of aggregates they use. So again, we'd have to make it ADA accessible. We'd also have to say like no mountain bikes or no things, no motorized vehicles, things that. But yeah.
My thought is that if you want to talk about ADA to help support the grant, we can say we will have ADA compliant aspects.
Yep.
Right.
Not get into details.
Yeah,
because
no.
We're gonna get so bogged down that if 27 days and
Yeah.
2 hours to like, we don't want to get too many. So I'm saying we don't want to commit ourselves We can say, if we, something like we were gonna have ADA compliant aspects, which we were going to have a flat level walkway from the roadway to the edge, and something like that will be no problem with that. Some of the walking trails may or may not be, and maybe that's some of the signage we put up is that this is appropriate or not appropriate,
Right.
depending upon that. So, but
I can send you like a per foot estimate for ADA compliant trails. It's about a year old now, and you may want to update it. Whoever's working on that.
But that's a good point, though. It's like, do we really need the whole trail to be ADA
No.
compliant? As
No.
long as there's parking and the
if we were
picnic
doing- if we're doing
areas.
like a federal parks and recreation
Right.
grant, then yeah, we would, but we're not. So we're not.
We just not.
We're not under obligation to make like 50%
Right.
or more of this park has to be. We don't have anything. This is our own little project,
Yeah.
and I found this is a good way to help get us a big chunk of funding. And it's just I don't want to get bogged down in the minutia of trying to make it something that we're not even talking about it being.
No,
I like your point, Bill, of making certain aspects of the park ADA compliant.
Yeah.
The picnic area.
Yeah.
The signage and the historical kiosks.
We'll all be in that area. Yeah.
All right, and the overlay.
Mhm. Yeah, well,
That's it.
And
we can say easily accessible. That's what I just saw in here. It's like if you say like, for ADA stuff, people, they look out like easy or accessible. So we'll say easily accessible without having to say it's ADA compliant, because that's where we're gonna get.
you want to say ADA compliant, I think. To score the points in
There will
the
certainly be aspects of it.
reviewers.
but the aspects of it.
If you're too broad, they're gonna say, well, is it gonna be ADA compliant or not? And you might lose some points that way. Just say,
But
some of the trails are gonna be ADA compliant.
some of the areas are gonna be ADA compliant. And
Yeah.
You could list the ones that you know. Overlook, picnic area, signage, and parking.
Now with this,
And when you're writing this, look at what they're asking for. So, and just imagine the reviewers sitting around saying, okay, this is what we asked for. Is that what they're saying here? Is that what they're giving us?
Yeah.
So just go with what they give you and expound on it.
Hmm.
So Dana, will you chair this?
Nope. I said very specifically that I would join a group that is working on it, but I would not do it alone. So if you want me to chair it, that's giving me more responsibility than I think I'm willing to take. But I thought Bill was chairing it because he was the one deputized to write it.
And I have delegates
Yeah.
to you, Dana, that you can.
Thanks, sir.
I have absolutely no problem putting it all together, and this is what's left. There's other things. There's the part application that I've already done. This is the stuff that's not done yet. So
Okay, here's what I will offer. I will offer to come up with a time to meet with you and anybody else that's available twice between now and the 31st.
Okay, who's gonna decide the dates?
We'll do it by consensus, or we'll take, if Mary Beth and Demetrio are gonna work on something on their own, they can carve that out, send it to us. If Norman is still, willing, we'll look it over as part of the
Yeah.
final draft,
Suggest
and we'll work on the
these
other.
two.
Don't
the other
forget Andy.
components. Or Andy.
Yeah, you'll probably
I'll
type
be
this
glad to
But
help
be
out.
sure,
Right. Well, one of us will tape it up
Well,
and
that's
then we'll
fine.
review it. Yeah.
let's be,
Make sure we're both.
which one of the three are you guys going to work on?
I was thinking, so there's the bold paragraphs,
Yep.
the second and the third.
I'm sorry?
Please describe the project design and the three specific ways you intend this project to benefit.
I was
correct?
thinking the one above. So like these two right here. Those two first ones.
Yep.
And have you guys take the top and bottom.
Top is, Barbara's, I think.
Oh.
Wait a minute. I'm not hearing, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you well, Mary Beth.
Let's see.
You're gonna do the middle one.
Yeah. Yep. Middle
Two.
two.
Two
Right. The first
of
two.
those three that are in that block.
Okay, so then the last two
would be the focus of whatever group is working. Is that you, Norman, and me, and Andy, and Bill? So that's, please provide 3 specific ways in which you intend this project to benefit your community, and please provide a timeline.
I'm sorry, I'm not following this discussion at all.
Norman, let's do it this way.
Yeah.
The first one says detailed project proposal.
Yes,
Okay, Barbara said she's gonna do that.
okay,
So that's Barbara, and we take that off. Start numbering from the other bolded ones. Briefly describe the community.
okay.
That's number 1. Please describe how your project design and project execution plan actively fosters inclusion. That's number 2. Please provide 3 specific ways in which you intend the project to benefit your community. That's number 3. And please provide a timeline. That's number 4. Mary Beth and Demetrio will take what I have now numbered 1 and 2. That sound good, Mary Beth and Demetrio?
Yeah.
And that leaves 3 and 4 for
Fine, gotcha.
our little subgroup. Norman,
Subdivision, yes.
subdivision. And so, you, me, and Andy, we can find a time, get together.
Bill, do you remember how many words they wanted for the detailed project proposal? Or you can just email it.
No,
to
I
me.
can look up, I get to see.
I thought you said around 250.
That
That's
was the
what
other
we're
one.
guessing,
Norm.
But I can look up, see if there are any requirements. I'll put that out.
Okay,
At the end of the meeting, at the end of the meeting, we will set up time to meet. That's you, me, and Andy, and Mary Beth and Demetrio. You can just decide when you're going to get us the
Cool.
stuff. We'll set up 2 meetings.
How are you with? I'm not trying to be, how are you with Google Drives and sharing documents?
Great.
All right, so if I put you on that, I'm just gonna have the 2025, then we'll just start working on that. Everybody's gonna have
Yeah,
access to
but
it.
you need to,
Yeah.
you need to send it to my, special email, which is Dana MSP
Not the
at
first
Gmail.
one.
No.
Okay.
That's because that doesn't have access. You have to go through a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh,
I have my own Google Drive. I share it with everybody. So I'll just give you that, Demetrio. It's Dana MSP at gmail.com. And I'll see that.
All right.
I don't
Again-
use Google Drive, so
That's
is
okay.
that,
It's just
Okay.
you and me.
Yeah.
Oh, you can share it with
It's all,
everybody.
yeah, everybody has, yeah. So,
Andy, Mary Beth, and
oh, so
And Norm,
Bill
you work
Sweet
directly-
and Barbara, since
You
you
work
guys
with
don't
me. You
have
work with
Google
Dana.
accounts with
I'll
that.
make sure you,
I can't hear you
Was that-
over him.
So
work
Bill
with
is,
Dana. Don't worry about the Google Drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Should we recruit anyone who's not here?
No, that's okay.
Yes.
We're good.
Okay. All right, let's move to the subdivision bylaw. I think everyone has a copy of it. And Howard, did you get sent one?
Yes.
I have
I would note that, the minutes of last time's meeting indicated that we adjourned at 8:05 and it's now 8:06. So I was just wondering whether we should postpone our discussion of the bylaws until next meeting where we can discuss it, because I don't think any of us were aware that we were gonna spend the first hour talking with the,
Well,
project
that's true, but we
developer.
have a little vacation coming up, so let's grind through this just a little bit.
Would you like to put a time constraint on that?
No, I don't think so. I think we ought to take these home, read them over, and be prepared at our next meeting.
Well, that will be part of this.
Okay.
But I would just like, did anyone read this?
I did. Well, I was supposed to.
Okay,
I
so,
have
so I'd love to hear some general comments.
Wait a
some
minute.
Things that,
They were sent, they weren't sent to us. It was here. Nobody got them.
Norm, it's the same document we've been reviewing. It just looks different.
yeah.
The content is the same. I took Logan's document and made it look like all of our other town ones. Content is the same.
Okay. So Barbara, I apologize. I did not get in on the first round of comments, but I did look at all of Barbara's comments and cross-reference those to the documents that you did, Bill. And I have to say that overall, it was great. But I have some questions that didn't seem to align, or at least my brain had gone into a fog. With respect to the references. Some of them were fine, easily accepted, and others, were confusing. So where is my, okay.
Andy, what were your comments? Do you have any?
I just briefly looked it over, to be honest with you, read it quick. Seems fine to me. But did we go over the, one thing I did notice is we talked about the, did we all agree on the half acre for the
Yeah.
lot line?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, okay.
That's in there a few times.
That's in there. Yeah.
Adjustments.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary Beth?
What are the highlights? Are these things you want input on or changes or?
They are, what has been changed
Oh,
since the last
since last
time,
revision.
Yeah.
Okay.
last time we went through this.
So everything that Bill has in here is as we provided feedback over the previous 3 meetings.
Mhm.
Okay,
Along with Logan.
along with Lord. And Barbara did a subsequent review. I was supposed to do that with her, and I dropped the ball. I was a little too busy. But I went over her comments to Bill, which Bill then incorporated into the final draft, which he sent out yesterday, Bill.
Today.
Okay, sometime in the last 24 hours, that had, all of those, changes that Barbara suggested incorporated. So, what I did,
Which were just, it was basically cleaning up a few things. It wasn't anything major.
no, it was nothing major.
Yeah, it was cleaning up some stuff.
However, I went through and did a double check between the previous edition that you had originally sent out on the 14th or the 21st, I can't remember the date. And, what Barbara gave you for feedback, around Thanksgiving. And, so I went through and looked to see if everything was in compliance. And I had a couple of questions. So if you want to hear what I have to say, friends, I'll be happy to go through Barbara's checklist, which nobody has except Bill and Barbara.
Well, everybody,
We don't have the checklist.
the checklist, it's all in here now.
No, I understand that, but for me, I can't take a whole document of 19 pages and start it from scratch and go through it and find typos and things. So I would take a checklist, which is what Barbara provided to us. And I went and cross-referenced whether Bill actually, made those
Okay, so
changes.
what are the two things?
One, the question I have is in the line under definitions, are we dealing with section 2 or section 3? Because Barbara referenced section 3, but you changed it to section 2. I think, Bill.
What line number?
This is on Barbara's checklist. It's under the definitions.
I think we should be using that checklist that way because the layout, Bill went and put the layout in the form of all of our other regulations.
I understand that. But this goes section by section, which are all the sections in here that I've been able to check off most of.
Okay, so what is your brief here?
I don't have a brief, I have a question.
Okay.
And my question is, under definitions, Barbara made a comment that, it should be, an exemption, do not qualify for an exemption under section 3.
What definition are you looking at?
Yeah. I think you're doing apples and oranges.
I'm not doing apples and oranges. I know what I'm doing. So, under the definition section, Bill, do you have Barbara's checklist?
No. Well, I'm looking for
What
it.
line are you going to? So we start at 70 and then at 102. So I don't know because I couldn't find it under. the
Okay, you said, so you're saying here is as an exemption under section 3.
It says, no, definitions. Barbara made a comment, exempt proposed subdivision.
Yep.
I'm assuming that that's under E and exempt subdivision. And I can't find that in the definition section.
What's the definition? What's missing?
You have your, original.
There's non-exempt proposed subdivision in the definitions.
That's a,
Oh,
That's what she was saying.
maybe it's non-exempt. Okay, that's why I was looking.
Okay, so it's non-exempt, which is
Non-exempt subdivision.
defined
A
in
subdivision
section,
of land that does not qualify for an exemption under section two
Right.
of the bylaws that you put in there.
and you go to section 2, and exemptions is in section 2.
I understood. Barbara had just put in that it was section 3.
I understand.
So
That
it
wasn't
is
right.
section 2.
So I put, section 3 does not deal with
I
exemption.
didn't think so. So I
Right.
thought it was correct, but all I was doing was double checking what the reference was to what the correction was. And I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page.
Yes.
That was it.
I think we're on the same page.
That reference is correct.
Right. Because I made a note that it should be found in general provisions, which is section 2.
Done.
Okay, next.
Okay, next one. I think I checked this one off. Section 3. Put minor and major subdivisions or add a boundary line adjustment. That was done. I checked that off.
wait a minute.
By
I'm looking at section 3 now. There's no,
section 3.
Dana, they don't know what you're looking at, so they're looking at the document that has those changes already incorporated,
Mhm.
so they're looking at it as,
Apples and oranges.
yeah, so,
No, I know,
Yeah.
because I went back to the original document to cross-reference what we had as strikeouts and other things in the original document, and then looked at it in the document that you had sent out. To make sure that they were
Yep.
coordinated. I did a proofreading job. That's all I did. So that's why I said, if you want to hear my comments, I will make them to you and Barbara, because nobody else
no.
is gonna know, because the document has already incorporated the changes.
I like that proposition, Dana. And with that, see you in 3 weeks.
No. I did make a proposal that we adjourn and deal with it later on,
I know.
but
The only thing I saw in there, I didn't really look through it all. The one thing I did see though, we do have the professional engineer, and I forgot to mention, we might want to specify the state, or do we care what state they come from? Like, do we want an engineer in California stamping off on this saying that, yes, this project was constructed in accordance with, right? So for the request for certificate from a licensed engineer, professional engineer stating that they have inspected and completed the project that required infrastructure improvements.
I'm not sure that we should specifically say Vermont. Maybe we could use probably something from New York or Massachusetts.
Alright, so we just keep, yeah. I mean, we don't want to like limit it to the licensed area, so it could be any engineer from any state. 'Cause I mean, I'm just thinking with the Vermont engineer, they'd probably know the nuances of the area and things like that, so.
It's up to the developer to make sure that their person is doing that, like that's.
As we all know. They'll do as much as we force them to.
A question for the group, on 5/8/95. The building envelope line, what was it? You know, it's mentioned, Logan gave us something for the building envelope. It's part of the design section, which is
Are you looking at,
7,
what section are we in?
7, and let's see, where is building design? I'm just thinking,
Standard design requirements is number 2 under subdivision application. Section 7.
does anyone see building design? It just seemed like it was, it came from
It's
zoning.
It's section 7, yeah, line 463.
Section 7?
Yep. Line 463, all the line numbers on the left-hand side.
Any proposed lot, any proposed building envelope shall exclude all areas deemed unsuitable for development.
So I'm sure that came from Logan. So, we talked about, we needed a definition, and now it does have a definition in section 1, definitions. But the question, and the definition is, there's a clear demarcation of what's exterior and interior.
Mhm.
That's a building.
Envelope.
Have we ever asked about a building envelope? And I'm thinking maybe this is just something that Logan suggested that we don't need. Can we think of any instance where we might need to know the specifications of what's interior and exterior? In a
You mean within
subdivision.
the lot, in the subdivision?
In a subdivision. yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of this highlighted portion at the end where it talks about not impacting wetlands and streams and how it needs to be, like, we would need, if we're gonna have that in there, we would need to know where the building would be. It
Can you
talks
say that
about,
a little bit more.
well, so for wetlands, aquifers, streams, agricultural lands, all of those talk about the layout of the subdivision. So, like, for example, building sites should be designated to minimize impact on prime agricultural fields. So we would need to know where the building is going to be,
Which is the building envelope.
right? Which is the building envelope.
So,
Okay.
if we're looking at,
Unless we take all those things out or reference
Okay,
it
just
to
as long
that,
as we're
but-
gonna use it and we know why we want to keep it in here. I mean, it's in here and it's in the definitions now. So
Mhm.
generally, we don't look at where the building is gonna be when a subdivision comes in front of us. We don't really have the right to ask that question. I mean, if the person comes to us with a subdivision and they want to cut their land up into certain pieces, what they're gonna do with it is permitted down the road from us. Typically by Act 250, or in the case of Rutland Town, it's just
Or
a
not.
the building-
filing a work notice.
So if they're coming to us to subdivide land
Yes.
and don't talk about, and all they're doing is saying, we want to divide 2 parcels, and then we approve it, and the next day they decide they want to build something, this doesn't apply.
we should probably take it out.
It goes back to, what, do we have the ability to enforce it?
Right.
And we
Well,
don't.
out of
right?
curiosity, what's
The
happening
answer
with
is
Hawley?
no, as usual.
Or right off of Post Road, Hawley, right down there, they just sold all those and then it's subdivided.
No, he didn't. He sold it off as 1 parcel.
Oh, he did? I just saw that they'd shown it previously before as subdivided, and like they were showing like, oh, here's wetlands and you could build something
Yeah.
here.
He had advertised it like that, and then he became frustrated with the process and sold it off to one parcel.
Oh.
Yeah, they needed a bridge.
It was gonna be a terrible road, awful road, the way they wanted to do it. So their plan was to have people pass each other. The road wasn't gonna be wide enough for cars to pass each other. They were going to pull over into people's driveways to get around each other. Not a good plan.
No,
It seems better as a one lot.
Yeah.
no.
So, all of the yellow in section 7, starting with H, all of that yellow is the stuff that I found that I thought would be nice to have. So Logan said, put it, he suggested where we put it. I'd like everyone to take a look at that between now and the next meeting, and see if that does belong in this document. I thought it would be a nice connection with the town plan. That there would be a lot of back and forth when we do the new town plan with what's in here. And it's just some,
Just all the yellow highlights?
yeah,
We haven't seen that.
they're all natural
At the end of the document.
At the end of the
at the end of the document in
last 2 or 3 pages.
starting 7H, Norm, and they're all kind of natural resource based kind of aspirations aspirations. They really are. So just take a look at that, see if you like it. If you want it to stay, there's no statutory, regulation or any requirement to have that language in there. I just thought there'd be nice interplay back and forth with the two.
Just so I'm following what you said. You're saying, starting with paragraph H, line 532.
Yep.
All those full page highlighted areas are materials that you have added.
Yeah, I just found those
All right,
that another town.
the highlights before that are what?
They are recent changes, additions that we've made, other recent.
Over the course of the
Changes,
last three
additions.
meetings.
Mainly it's language that's been added.
So
Yeah,
that's language that has been added. Okay.
or moved around.
Those are group changes. Basically,
Yeah, we did that.
okay.
We did that during several painful meetings. Any other general comments or things that you think the group should focus on?
I just have one question. Why can't we ask the developer what they plan on doing with the property? Why does it have to be a big secret that we can't ask?
Because we don't have zoning. We don't require building permits. The building permit we have is only for informational purposes. It has no actual regulatory authority other than to make sure they're getting all the permits, other ancillary permits they need to do anything.
And there's no state permit either.
If it's residential, there's no regulation we have. You can make a 4-story house bright purple if you want to. We don't care. If it's commercial under 1 acre, we don't have anything to do with it. If it's commercial over 1 acre, it's Act 250. We don't.
Yeah.
The previous select boards have actively chosen to not adopt regulations.
Land use.
Am I doing a 4-story building?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Do pretty much anything you want.
Yeah, you just
As long
have
as you're
to,
not dividing
you have to
land
live with your neighbors though.
Stack them on top of each other, that's all.
There's no, but you have to get the water supply permitting, wastewater permitting from the state, like you're required to have that. Like,
Right.
So that's why this is always a perpetual issue with this.
Yeah, it's just.
Why not zoning? Why don't we have a little more say over some of the
That's
stuff?
why our bylaws that were adopted in,
we are currently operating.
that are illegal and out of compliance with state statute.
Yeah.
Are problematic because previous groups, select board / planning commissions, thought that they could include in the bylaw, the subdivision bylaw, certain types of regulations which were actually zoning without adopting zoning. And when the town actually voted favorably at, 2-1 to adopt zoning, the previous select board sat on it until the time limit expired and they weren't adopted. Because
So the town wants zoning, but we don't want to do zoning?
that's, I guess, that's.
This was more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
to is a survey that was sent around. That,
Well, there was a vote,
Tom Turner,
but there was also a vote.
I don't believe so. Howard would remember it.
Wasn't there a
This
vote,
is-
Howard?
On Tom Turner?
Yeah, but
Yeah, he
Tom-
was,
we sent out that the survey went out. Right? I don't believe that was a vote. That was, I thought about 20 years ago, there was an item on the ballot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall exactly
The
what it
records
was,
for that.
Andy, but,
There was 4 items, I think. It asked for limited zoning. You were given 4 choices, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
yeah,
And 77% of the people responded in the positive to the top 3 items, and only the small number responded to no zoning, but, subsequent elections have proven that to be a problem. And I have to just say, I mean, we're gonna end with the witching hour of 8:30 is coming up here And I think we have to scratch a whole lot of this stuff because all of it constantly references building sites and building. And we don't have any authority over.
Right, make some notes with line numbers and come back in a month.
Right. So my question is, what is the determination on the land areas B, line 461, that we've spent 5 to 7 minutes talking about? Because I don't have a clear understanding of what we're doing with that one.
What do you mean, the land areas
The
unsuitable?
land area is unsuitable for development. So
So
any
that's,
proposed lot, any proposed building envelope shall exclude all areas deemed unsuitable for development. In other words, you can't develop in an undeveloped area.
I think that
And the
has to
land
be,
considered unsuitable for development shall mean, surface waters, wetlands, flood areas, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you could take a line out and leave the rest of it as a definition, but I don't know what our preference is for that particular section.
so I was thinking of the Hawley area, right? Because they had the wetlands there and they showed their building envelope where it would not affect the wetlands within that 10-acre plot. So that's what I think they're trying to show is even though you have unsuitable areas within that plot,
Right.
you have to show your building envelope is not going to affect those areas.
Right.
So I think that's all we're asking here at the land area, for unsuitable for development is to show us where you're developing that it is suitable. If that,
All my question was are we leaving this alone? Or is there a recommendation to change it?
I think that particular one, I think we leave it. I think just to give people a heads up that they can't, if they're gonna try and build in one of those areas, they're gonna have problems.
And even the slopes in excess of 20%, that's states.
I think so. So I think we leave that.
but can that slope be changed to be less than 20%? So if I have a slope that's in there, but then if I go and bring in additional dirt to fill it up, so it's not at a 20% gradient, would that be acceptable?
You can bring in as much fill to your property as you want, right, Andy?
Okay.
Fortunately, yes.
As long as it's not
Which
a
would mean
wetland.
that it was no longer unsuitable.
Right.
But you can't do it to fill in the wetlands,
If
though.
that's the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we'll be running this by the town attorney.
Yeah.
My point was just, we had a discussion, I didn't see any closure to it, and I wanted to
I
make
think-
closure.
My vote is
Yeah, I
Okay.
think tonight was the closure.
My last question, just going to subdivisions for the minor. Could I, with 2 acres, divide that into 3 lots? Is there a minimum lot that we need to have?
Where are you?
Minimum lot size,
Section,
half an acre.
what's
so
no, that's better line adjustment.
that's boundary
Oh,
line.
sorry, yeah,
So is there-
What line number?
Just under section 3,
it's the number though.
like 156 or something for a minor subdivision.
Just a second.
There's also fewer lots. And then with subdivision, it's a division of a lot or parcel of land into 2 or more lots or other divisions of land for sale, conveyance, development, or lease. Nowhere in here do I ever understand. I could take my 1 acre and I can build it into 4 lots.
I believe you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no.
All right,
we don't
time to
have a
sell
lot
off some
size
land.
Minimum in this.
No, I'm just, that's some, so if I was a developer, am I able to go get a acre and break that up into 4? I mean, do we want?
4 tiny homes? Sure, why not?
Want to be sure we
But-
honor.
You're talking about development. You're getting into the development of this land, which we
We don't
don't have control over.
We only have control over
over
land
the
use.
Vision of the land,
Yeah.
not the development thereof. If you want to take your 1 acre parcel and divide into 4 1/4 acre lots, and each they all have the right of way access, and you want to sell them off for development, that's your problem.
But I have to come to you though in order to break that up.
Yes,
Correct.
Right.
So again, if somebody were to break up their lot into that.
Yeah.
Would we want that is what I'm saying. Do we want to have we don't care?
We-
All right.
But it's, we can't, so, and this is the part where it gets frustrating, right?
Yeah.
You can't talk about what you want to do with it. Any future plans aren't factored into it.
And that's fine.
Right.
Do we
So
want minimum of 1 acre lots though for homes?
We don't,
We don't have that.
we don't have it. If a person wants to divide them and say, well, I want to build 4 tiny homes and I'm on a corner lot and I want to develop 4 tiny homes and I got to give that back corner a right of way to get out. That's all you need to do. You can't landlock the parcel.
Right.
Other than that,
I know, but like up at Sugar Bush or in Facein, they have it where you can't have a lot less than 10 acres.
that's their community standard.
That's their zoning.
right.
Mm.
That's zoning.
which we've tried and.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
you know, again, like, we don't want somebody putting, you know, building out 4 lots on like a half acre. They could, but do we really want that to happen? And
We
is there a
can't,
way?
doesn't matter. We don't have,
And that's the thing, right?
We-
It's so. It's a culture that's there that says that's like, we don't want to tell, the select board in general feels that they don't want to tell people what they can or cannot do with their land. That's the-
Until they realize how bad it could be when somebody does something with their land and then says,
Demetrio,
Yeah, too.
you and I need to have a conversation.
oh no, I'm just supposed to make in Vermont change it from guardrail to guide rail.
Okay.
So,
I'm just saying that I need a partner.
yeah, no, I mean, I can get real done with this stuff. And that's the best way to shore up the laws is by making sure that you have the worst person going after it.
Right.
Unfortunately, really bad contractors make good specs. So,
I like that. But I'll give you a little bit of a.
yeah.
Okay, any other general comments before we study this for 4 weeks? 5 weeks?
Barbara, at one time I submitted a bunch of comments and you said it was too soon.
I put those in.
You did put those.
That one.
Maybe not every one of them, but most of them.
Pardon me, Dana?
Yeah, it went into the document that I was sloshing my way through. few
Okay,
minutes
so
ago.
I don't need to.
Yeah, they're done.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll come back on January 8th. So is there anything from the select board meetings that recently that, I mean, they're pretty tied up with the budget right
Yeah.
now and. So, any other announcements from anyone? Minutes from November 13th then.
Move to approve? Second.
So we've got,
No, I don't think so. Still second.
yeah, we can vote on these.
I checked it.
Any discussion? Okay, all,
Great, thanks, Bill. I liked your note about, that Demetrio was the alternate. And
Well, you made a point at the beginning of the meeting to say that.
I know.
You know what you didn't do tonight?
Everyone's approved tonight because there were only 7 of us. How's that? We got it in.
okay, all those in favor? November 13th, minutes, please say aye.
I abstain.
Okay. Unanimous and 1 abstention, okay. And adjourn.
Thank you, Adjournment.
Okay, we're adjourned.